We turn now to Deputy National Security Advisor Jon Finer. Jon, thank you for spending some of your time this Sunday morning with us. I want to start with the fact that the United States, the United Kingdom, and Jordan are advising citizens to get out of Lebanon right now. Is the Biden administration anticipating Israel will strike inside Lebanon soon, or how real is the risk that a second front could open up in Lebanon?
Well, Ed, what we're trying to do is prepare for any eventuality, any possibility. That's only responsible for the United States. Obviously, we've been quite clear that we'll work with our ally Israel to defend itself against any threats that it faces, and we are in a moment that appears to be of heightened threat. So what we have said to our own citizens is should they choose to or desire to leave Lebanon, the time to do that would be while commercial options are available, as they currently are. Beyond that, obviously, these are personal decisions that we will leave to people to make. We've raised our travel advisory to level 4, which discourages Americans from traveling to Lebanon, and we are preparing for whatever may come. But this is no prediction about future events. It is prudent planning for them and for our government.
Is that why the U.S. is deploying additional fighter squadron to the Middle East and moving in other naval vessels?
So you're referring to the announcement that was made on Friday, where the United States and our Pentagon said that we are moving a aircraft carrier group to the region and some additional air assets. That is entirely focused on defending Israel against potential threats it may face. And out of our desire to both deter those threats, defend against them, and ultimately de-escalate this situation and avoid it sliding into a regional war. We obviously had a very close call on a broader regional conflict on April 13th, when the United States worked very closely with Israel and with our other partners and allies to defeat a threat and an attack that Iran made against Israel. And should that situation arise again, we want to be prepared to do it. But the overall goal is to turn the temperature down in the region, deter and defend against those attacks, and avoid regional conflict, which has been our goal really since October 7th.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the prisoner swap from this past week. The president and Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor, are especially focused on the case of Marc Fogel, an American school teacher still being detained by Russia. Why was he left out of this deal? And is it realistic to think he can be home by the end of the Biden administration?
So I want to say a few things. One, predictions about future events like this is not a business I want to be in, but we think about Marc Fogel every single day, and not only think about him, we work on his case every single day, and we are going to do what we can to try to bring Marc home as soon as possible. We work to try to get Marc included in the deal that consummated last week, and we are right back at it to try to get Marc back to the United States and united with his family. Beyond that, I don't want to get into the details.
Well, more specifically, what is the administration doing to ensure that the next Marc Fogel or Paul Whelan or Evan Gershkovich isn't captured, either in Russia or elsewhere?
It's a really good and important question, Ed, and we're doing a few things that are novel in this administration. One is we have created a list of countries for which there is a heightened alert for Americans who travel there, that they may be detained unlawfully or wrongfully, and we draw a lot of attention to places where we do not think Americans should travel for exactly that reason. Second, and this came about in work with Congress and under a statute called the Levinson Act, which has been passed, there are new sanctions authorities available to the U.S. government against countries and officials who conduct these sorts of wrongful or unlawful detentions, and we will deploy those as well as the kind of public messaging that we've just been discussing about where Americans should and should not travel. Beyond that, we have also been clear, though, that the United States will work to get Americans in these terrible situations home and reunited with their families.
I want to bring you to a situation in this hemisphere, in Venezuela specifically. The situation quite grim. The Secretary of State on Friday said that the opposition candidate won more votes than Nicolas Maduro. He also spoke with opposition leaders. Did the opposition candidate, Edmundo González Urrutia, win that election?
Look, we've been quite clear about that Edmundo González got the most votes in this election. And what I think is interesting about the current moment is that you have seen very few countries come out and ratify what the Maduro regime has claimed, which is that it won the election. You have seen a number of countries take a position that we've taken based on a whole range of factors, not just what the opposition claims, but exit polls, quick counts that took place based on a significant percentage of actual data, tally sheets from precinct level voting places in Venezuela that suggest not only that Edmundo Gonzalez won, but that he won with quite a considerable margin. And so what we are focused on now is conveying to the regime that it needs to focus on, if it believes that it won this election, showing its work, showing the data, which it has refused to do. And I think we know the reasons why that is the case. And if not, embark on a transition back to democratic norms in Venezuela. We are working very closely with key countries in the region that have influence in Venezuela to try to stay on the same page and build a coalition for a process that will ultimately lead back to a transition to democracy in Venezuela. That's been our goal from the minute this administration arrived.
But given that Maduro is likely to stay in power, at least for now, is the United States anticipating another influx of migrants from Venezuela?
I guess we'll have to see how that all plays out. I mean, one of the things that we've been quite clear about as well is that the detention of anyone involved in protesting peacefully against what the regime has claimed is not acceptable to us. We are concerned about the prospect of instability should there continue to be these detentions, and we believe that the regime should do the right thing, acknowledge the actual results of this election, and embark on the process of transition back to democratic norms.
All right. Deputy National Security Advisor Jonathan Finer, thank you for your time. We'll talk to you again soon.